All right, what's going on YouTube? My name is Z, and I've been training seriously with calisthenics and weights for about 9 years now. Today, I want to talk to you about what would I do if I had to rebuild all of my strength from ground zero. And before you ask me why do I have the authority to say this, just know that, I've achieved a lot in my training career. I've achieved a full planche, 90-degree handstand push-ups. I benched 405 pounds twice in my life, deadlifted 585, front squatted 385, and I've done weighted dips with 225 pounds added to my dip belt for about 5 reps. So I think I have a pretty good track record of what it means to get strong in both calisthenics and weights. And this is going to be focusing more on weights today, but I'll do a video later on when it comes to talking about calisthenics. But going back to the video, the first method I would use to making sure that I'm building strength is using a top set method. So a lot of people like to do like 3x5, 5x5, 3x10, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just making sure that you have your top set. So say we're doing bench today and that's our main and first lift. We're going to be doing bench press first. We're going to be doing our warm-up sets and building up to a top set. So say your top set could be something like 315 pounds for 5 reps. And then you will back down for 2 to 3 sets after that just to get in some working sets. And so basically this top set method allows your body to be exposed to that high strength stimulus, and it's going to teach your body how to perform under heavy loads. That is not your maximal effort. It's not a good idea to be training at your max effort for long periods of time, but this top set is going to get you close to that top load. You really want to stay around that, 75% to like 90% percentage of your max load, or ideally around like 80 to 85 is the sweet spot in my opinion. So aiming for your top set around 80 to 85% of your top load, and then you back down. And again, we just want to expose our body to this high strength stimulus and then back down, and then you continue to work out with the rest of your accessory movements. And when it comes to exposing yourself to the stimulus, it brings me to my second point, and that is that you want to be maxed out, about 2 to 4, maybe at most 5 times a year. The stronger you get, the less you're going to be maxing out. The reason is this, because it should take you a few weeks to build up your strength, which each mesocycle, each training program should take you anywhere from, I would say at least 8 weeks to, maybe 16 weeks. And at the end of your 16 weeks, reward yourself, challenge yourself with maxing out, testing your 1 rep max. So ideally, you should, dependent on how long each mesocycle and each training program is that you're running, you should be testing or maxing out around 2 to 5 times a year. No more than that. If you're maxing out every other week or every week, then you're definitely not giving your body time to recover. And you don't get stronger from, exerting your max energy. You get stronger by getting close to that max and having your body challenge itself. But basically testing every week or every other week or even once a month, that frequency is too much and doesn't allow your body time to build strength, because it takes a few weeks to build stronger, have your tissues, have your muscles, your tendons adapt to the stimulus that you're providing it during your training program, and to ramp up your intensity as you prepare your body to actually max out on that load. So ideally, you should only be maxing out a few times a year. And I see a lot of people on social media or just in the gym. I go to the gym at the same time, see the same people maxing out over and over again. And, they're usually failing these lifts because they're not giving their body to get stronger or recover from their last max out lift. And my third and probably the biggest tip in this video is to be using full range of motion and good technique every single time you lift. And the reason is that you need perfect technique with full range of motion, because you can only get stronger when your body gets used to a movement, and not just used to a movement, get into used to how you perform that movement. So if your form is changing every week, every workout, then your body can't get as strong as it can. Yes, your weight still might be going up, but another way besides just adding weights or reps or sets to get stronger is actually just getting better at that movement. And you get better at that movement by doing the same movement, the same way, the same exact time, every single workout. When I was training to bench 405, my bench form was the exact same, no matter the rep, no matter the workout. For 2.5 years, I kept the same exact bench form on every single rep, every single workout. I recorded myself to make sure I kept the same form. And that's really how you're able to get as strong as possible, is when your body is maintaining that same exact form. Because you want your neural pathways you want your brain and nervous system to learn how you perform that movement. And when it gets really comfortable and really locked in, you don't even have to worry about it mentally anymore because you know your form is so good and so locked in that you can only focus on just pushing the weight up because your form is locked in and you're doing the same exact form each time. And that brings me back to the full range of motion. You should ideally be training full range of motion on all your lifts, even, your big three, whether it's squat, deadlift, bench press, because I don't just believe in training to get stronger. You should be training to get stronger for your life in general. Yes, getting aesthetic at school, getting stronger in the gym is really cool, but imagine you can achieve all these cool feats of strength in the gym, cool tricks, but you struggle to carry groceries up the stairs or something. Like, you should be getting full range of motion, your strength through the entire range of motion. And science has proven that, getting stronger in your full range of motion helps improve strength in just partial ranges of motion. Say you do a squat to depth, that's going to increase your quarter squat, but getting stronger at your quarter squat may not increase your strength. In fact, it doesn't increase your strength on your full range of motion squat. And you don't know what life is going to throw at you, what positions you might have to be into as you move day to day. So you just want to make sure you're training to be a functional human being in general, because again, I don't believe in just training for the gym. I believe in training, having your gym strength and aesthetics carry over to your daily life as well. So full range of motion with perfect form every single time is going to allow your strength to really blossom. And my fourth tip is something that I really noticed after a few years of training, and is my recommendation that your posterior chain should always have one more main set than your anterior chain. And what I mean by that, so basically posterior chain, if you're not familiar with that term, it basically refers to your back and your hamstrings, basically the back of your body, whereas your anterior chain is the front of your body, so things like your shoulders, your chest, your quads. And I noticed that whenever a lot of people train the front of their body because, that's what you can see in the mirror. Those are kind of the show muscles. And I definitely get it, and I think they're more fun lifts, like squat and bench are more fun than like deadlifts and pull-ups and things like that. At least most people think so, and I definitely get it. But our bodies like to be balanced, and because so many people spend so much time focusing on the front of their bodies, often that leads to their backside, their posterior chain, whether it's your back, your hamstrings, being underdeveloped or undertrained. So my rule of thumb that kept me injury-free, because I try to keep it balanced, in fact, I try to keep my posterior chain stronger, is by doing one more main set for my posterior chain than my anterior chain. So 2 concrete examples of this. If I did 3 sets of squats for my main squat movement that week, guess what? On whatever my main hamstring movement is of that week, I'm doing 4 sets of that. If I did 3 main sets of my bench press, of my main bench press variation, whatever is my main back exercise, I'm going to do 4 sets of that. So by doing one more added set for my posterior chain, whether it's legs, upper body, I basically was able to be injury-free when it comes to balancing out my body. And I truly never got big injuries related to my training program and just overtraining that way. I got injuries doing, stupid things in the gym. But those are more acute injuries, and I can pinpoint exactly why I got those injuries. When it comes to overuse injuries or just training mistakes, I never got injured that way. And I strongly believe that's because I always had one more set on my posterior chain instead of my anterior chain. And it just makes sense. You can't have a strong bench press if you don't have a solid foundation on your upper back. So just getting a stronger back is going to keep those shoulders healthy, and it's going to allow you basically a bigger platform to press off of. And not only that, just staying injury-free is honestly one of the best ways you can get stronger, because if you're able to show up every single workout that you have planned for that entire year without getting an injury, then you have so many workouts to get you stronger. Whereas if you're injured, it might be weeks until you're able to do a certain movement, and so you're going to lose progress that way. And you might be able to keep your strength, or in most cases, you're going to lose strength if you get injured. So not getting injured is the best way to ensure that you're always increasing your strength. All right? And my 5th way is just making sure that you have a clear plan. And I don't just mean, that basically means a lot of people just do a random workout. If they scroll on Instagram, they see an influencer post a workout, they're going to try that workout. There's nothing wrong with trying workouts like that you see on YouTube, Instagram, or whatever social media platform you use. But you need to stick to a program for a few weeks at least. You can't be program hopping or changing the workouts every single time, because, again, your body needs to get used to that movement so it's able to get stronger on that movement. So say I do pause bench on Monday, then my next bench workout, I'm doing high tempo reps, or I'm doing tricep extensions for 1 week, and then I skipped to weighted dips for another week, the stimulus is changing way too fast. A better method might be doing tricep extensions for 4 weeks, and then after those 4 weeks, then I move on to weighted dips. Then after that, I could do like overhead tricep extensions. So just making sure that you're sticking to your exercises and your program for a few weeks at least to give your body that time to adapt to that stimulus and get stronger at those specific movements. So just really making sure you're not program hopping or you're not changing your workout program so you can actually and see if the program is working for you. So a lot of times some people don't give the program a chance to shine and really see if it's working for them, their lifestyle, and just their goals. So just sticking to the program, sticking to your movements for a few weeks is going to be my last tip to make sure you're getting as strong as possible. Let me know how these tips work out for you, and if you have any recommendations, if you do anything differently, or if you implemented these, come back to this video and let me know in the comments down below.